Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the authority to be our leader at this time. I want to say, Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatam to my brother, brothers. Yahweh Shammai Latan Basham Yahushai to my sisters. Now, who have not heard about what happened in Lebanon? So everybody here, right? All right. So, you know that when you look at the blast, it represents something, an event that was so named in the book of Revelation. You realize that? All right, what's that?
Event of a blast.
Right, listen to the question. You realize that the blast, what happened, represents or reflects an event named in Revelation. What's that? All right, no problem if you don't know. By the end of the class, you will know. But, you know, this is our topic. We have a weapon with blacks, Hispanics, and natives today who are the what? Who are the children of Israel, are the 12 lost tribes of Israel, named after the man who was named Jacob, and the Most High changed his name to Israel. You might realize that you may or may not realize that we have a weapon that is greater than any nuclear blast. True or false? Okay. I want to call that weapon. Call it the Most High. Now, but guess what? There is Israel and there's the other nations, right? So why is it that the Most High become a weapon for Israel and not for the other nations? That's the key question now. You hear people say like, God love everybody, don't? Right? You hear people say like, God don't run no wire fence and in no partial. Right? You hear people say like, God didn't choose no one set of people. True or false? Right. People say things like that. But when you read the historical record of the black, Hispanic, natives, or the historical record of the Israelites, the Most High did run a wire fence. You do realize that the Most High is partial. And they do realize that the Most High did choose one nation above all. True or false? All right. So, where does this philosophy come from that Most High love everybody? Yes, brother.
A Christian church.
More directly from where? To say the Christian church, now, that is general. Rome in particular. So the root and the tree of the root of the Christian belief is from where?
Rome.
Rome. So if that belief that the Romans set out, which all churches use today, if Rome is correct, then what?
You know, issue will be alive.
If Rome is right, then all the Christian church is right. The evil tree cannot produce what?
Good fruit.
Cannot say that Rome was wrong. So it means that what?
They are right.
Because they are the branch from that tree. What Rome had said was the philosophy behind Christianity, which is actually different from when you read the Bible, you get a different character of the Most High. But Rome was able to set a character of a God that is not in the Bible. So that leads to what? What would that be? You're worshiping a God that is not in the Bible. That would be what?
Idolatry.
Idolatry. So many of us gone after idolatry and don't know. But we thank the Most High for the truth. We are able to decipher for ourselves. So, what makes the Most High fight for Israel? What makes him fight for us? Yes. The other nations can keep it too. So what would make him fight for you and not for them? Huh?
In being partial, not working everybody.
Well, the one that he chose, basically. He chose a side, he pick a side. And as it says in Psalm, what is it again? 147?
147 verse 19.
There's only one nation he showed his way. Alright, give me that. Give me what Psalm 147. Who got it?
So 19.
Mm-hmm.
Psalm chapter 147 verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
So that is how you know that he has never, he doesn't choose the other nation. Your kids in the field playing with some other kids, and they all did something wrong. And you took your kids and you whip your child. but you care not about the others. I had loved all these children on the field that was played. Huh?
Yeah.
Yes. So with love comes punishment. Yeah. Unless you are perfect enough to make no mistake. So the Most High punished only one nation. And in the time, with the time to come where he will be battling with the other nation, whipping their ass, is not love he'll be showing them. He'll be pleading with them for his people. Now let us examine some events in which the Most High chose his people, or chose the Israelites. Let's go to, remember the story in Daniel? Daniel 3 verse 14.
Daniel chapter 3, verse 14. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my God, nor worship the golden image which I have set up.
All right, so this was a time now when the entire world was in idolatry, and the Most High chose one nation to be not in idolatry, but to set an example unto the other nations. Now, of course, we keep on following the other nation, so we ended up in the Babylonian. But the Most High has his ways to make what appears to be evil as a good end result. And what the Babylonians learned from being captive there is that one, the God that the Israelites serve is the true God, and that he reigns supreme. So here now they set up their idols and thing, and our people knowing, some of our people knowing better, decided not to follow the power, sorry, the authorities or the nation's, the state religion. And the state religion at that time dictates that they bow themselves down to an actual golden image that was there. That was the state religion. Now Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego decided, no, we have to serve the God of our fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so they did not bow themselves down to these images. But of course, you know, you have some persons who, some snitchers, who went and tell the king, you know, yeah, see them man and I bow down to the idol, you know. We'll do something about them. And about that fact, they didn't use the word idol. These men not bowing to the God that you set up. Oh, 15.
Verse 15. Now if ye be ready that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, sarchy, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand?
All right, so Babylon say, all right. Certain time of the day, some music would start playing. Something like that. Call to noon prayer, call to evening prayer, call to morning prayer, right? So whatever you do, you just stop what you're doing and you bow in reverence to the idol that they set up. So here now the king is saying to them, well, if at that time you don't bow yourself when you hear that psaltery, that music at that hour, you certainly will be thrown in the fiery furnace. Choice is yours. 16.
Verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king.
So basically, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said, King, we will not answer your question in being politically correct. He said, we are not, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter, meaning that we're not going to be politically correct. You have heard that term before? Huh? Right. We're not going to be politically correct. We're just telling you as it is. We ain't going to do it. If so it be, then our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from that fire. Right? That's basically what they answer the king. Continue.
Verse 18, but if not be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy God, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury and fury, and the form his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Form of his visage, the form of his face. Alright, so they did not answer him politically correct. And just tell him as it is. And then get vexed. That bringle. Continue.
Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was once to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace.
Alright, so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were some frail men. Obviously. Why? How do you know that? How do I know that? How would you know that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was not some frail men?
And so what do you mean by frail? So soft like
Frail in structure.
because I like them fancy, I like them I like a strong one of recognize strong soldier, strong soldiers of the world there.
Alright, just say it like what it is in the Bible. That's why your book said that. Say it like what it is in the Bible. What is it? What the Bible says?
Oh.
20, in verse 20.
Oh yeah, Mike said.
He did not command just the ordinary soldier. He commanded the most mighty men that were in his army. Grab these niggers and bind them. Now you notice when if I follow the Christian church and things, when they show you these men, they show you some simple frail men, Not so. Strong men worship God too. Bodybuilders, strong, mighty looking men serve God too. A man who pump iron and have big chest, like me and you. Alright, laugh all you want. Yes. Strong, mighty men worship God too. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It requires some strong men to bind them. Alright, continue with it.
Verse 21. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
Alright, so it seems as if the king didn't bother wait until the music played. So you know what? Eat up the furnace. 7 times hotter. Yo, my strong, mighty men. Come, hold these men. Grab them, bind them as they are. Don't even take off any garment in them. And them hot and them clothes, everything favorite. And you know what I mean by binding? Tie them up. Well, yeah. Probably will use rope then. What is the same thing that the cops do to us in the streets in America? Same thing. Well, the binding handcuff. But in this case, these men bind them what? Was it hands and feet? All right, then. Right. These men were bound in their coats, hosen, and blah, blah, blah. Haragana. Just like when the cop catch up on the streets and handcuff them in they take out the clothes. Also, fling your hand behind you and shoot to kill the same time. Don't you have the guts to shoot you not being bound. Okay. Anyway, these men weren't no cowards. These were strong men in the king's army. Babylon was a force to be reckoned back then. Even though they were defeated easily, but yeah, they were strong. The most I built them up. If you remember the story, Nebuchadnezzar when spent 7 years in the field because he thought that he was the one behind Babylon. Most I showed that no, it's me. And because of that, they're going to lose the mental faculty and go and eat grass like the cow. Right. So these men were no soft soap. And so they grabbed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and handcuffed them. But of course, it wasn't called handcuff then. Probably just some ropes. But they were bounded and thrown into the fiery furnace. Where are now? 22?
Verse 22. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
All right, so the king's commandment was to be carried out with haste. It's urgent. Bind them, throw them in the fire. Now those strong men, when they go against the fire to show them in, they themselves got burnt up. They were killed by the flame. Verse 23.
Verse 23. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was atoned and rose up in haste and said unto his counselors, did not we cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true. O king.
All right, so the king now Nebuchadnezzar, after the three were thrown into the fire, was astonished. And he rose up from his seat in haste and, hold on, did not we cast three men into the midst of the fire? And I said, true, O king, cast three. 25.
Verse 25. He answered and said, no, I see four men loose walking in the.
All right. So whatever it was that bound these three men was burnt off. And when he looked in the fire, rather than seeing three persons, he saw four. Now, this is a furnace so hot that the very handlers of the furnace got eaten up or devoured by the flame. Yet, the tree that was caught in the flame was in there walking around with a fort. 26 or 25?
I don't finish 25.
Oh, 25.
And they have no earth, and the form of the fort is like the Son of God.
All right. So you see how him know that? How him know how the Son of God look? Eh? Yes, the form of the fort looks so righteous, so pristine. Must be somebody from God. That's the first thing that flashed in his mind. Didn't look like a thug. Look godly. But the form of the fort is like the Son of God. 26.
Verse 26. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power.
So he called them out. And all his great, because he called all his great men to come and witness, because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego they were not ordinary citizens. They had authority. They were like maybe a governor or something, right? And they weren't following what the king said. So it becomes important to the king to have his council, his governors following his laws. So he ensured that he gets all his counselors, all his governors, all his princes to witness him killing these three men that was placed with power. So when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth from the flame, these princes, governors, captains, and the king's counselor, they saw what happened. being gathered together, saw these men upon whose body the fire had no power.
Nor was an ear of their head singed, neither were.
Remember, no ear upon his head singed. Well, we say swinge. The boy fire swinge off me ear, but it's singed, right? So not even that he saw. No ear upon him look like fire singe it, eh? And no smell, they didn't even smell like they were in fire. You know, like you burn, you walk in smoke and you get the smell. It come on your body. Not even that. 28 now.
Verse 28. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angels and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own God.
Now that's what Nebuchadnezzar said. So obviously Nebuchadnezzar knew who was God in him. But at the same time he was telling you to worship either. Because he recognized that must be an angel. Yeah. So you see, these heathens know who is God. And they know in themselves when they see the Most High angels, they know what they see. Yet they choose to go after idols. Maybe because they want to. Or power. But remember, the Northern Kingdom did something like that for the sake of power. To hold power unto themselves. So the Most High is not unable to deliver you from any atrocity that would come your way. These little pressure, well, to us, many of us, it's not small. Because what are the things that our people are being pressured by now? Cocaine, alcohol, what else? Boredom. What else? High grade. Yeah, not well, yes. I said cocaine, so all right, drugs. So these guns, and it's not only that the gun being pointed at you, but you yourself taking up the gun. And it's like the gun of a demon when you go on to bed, it says, come. And they go and call and say, come, let us go on the road. And you just cannot resist. Huh? Well, these are the battles that we have to fight. Not being thrown into a furnace. Battles of hunger. So what? We believe that the Most High cannot deliver us from that. When you stand aside and observe our people in it, well, from the vantage point of being in the truth, we see a lot more than what they see. And then they wonder, what the heck is going on into these people? What are they holding on to? Holding on to what they know. And their oppressors have shown you guns, drugs, eating each other, hunger. They're actually holding on to what they know. People is always afraid of the unknown. Which is why when we are in sync with the Most High, keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, you become fearless. Oh, yes, the thing you fear will come over you, will have power over you. So why not fear the Most High and let him have power over you? But no, we just can't do that. We are in a significant time. The last time a bomb went off like that since week was when? When was the last time it happened? Yeah. Right, the last time yes, because bomb go off since then, but it's testing in the drop on any nation. So you're right. The last time that it went off, that's why I say like that, meaning on a nation in a populated area. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. All right, let's look at another incident in which the Most High delivered who he wants to deliver. And this one is one that I know you all love. Judas Maccabeus. First Maccabees 3:38. There are many instances in the Bible. You read Judges, woo, Samuel. Actually, all the books, because all the books are written by some prophets who the Most High sent to make some correction towards his people. So, chapter 3, from 38. So, I mean, there are many instances, but we just choose just a few because, I mean, we don't have the, but if you want to go through all the things, then you have to read all the Bible. And you see all the time that the Most High would have delivered his people from the hands of the heathens. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego the next time here on Judas Maccabeus.
First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 31.
38.
38. Verse 38. First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 38. Then ye shall choose the
Hold on. First Maccabees.
First Maccabees.
Oh yeah, 3.
Verse 38.
Hold on. Yeah, man. Continue reading.
Verse 38. Then ye shall choose the Ptolemy, the son of Daremi, and Nicanor, and Gorgias, mighty men of the king's friends. And with them he sent forth 40,000 footmen and 7,000 horsemen go into the land that commanded.
All right, so going is like a general. Okay, yeah, what? Going to Judea, and destroy, make it waste, right? And Judea was where? Jerusalem was in Judea, but Judea was where? Yeah. Yeah. The Middle East. So Judah was the country of who? Of who? The southern kingdom of Israel. And which tribes were in Judea?
Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
Actually, let me rephrase that because actually, no, all tribes are there. No? But the land was what was the term? The land was the inheritance of which tribe? Judah, Benjamin. Half of Levi was there, but their business was over the temple. They didn't have any land rights. They could lease or buy, but they didn't have any what's the term I use again? Birthright. Yeah. Yeah. Inheritance. That's it. They didn't have any inheritance there. So, continue. They went into Judea.
So they went forth with all their power and came and pitched by Emmaus in the plain country.
All right, so they went forth with all their power. Now you read this, you know, if it was a sci-fi movie, you would think like, the man of power, and what this was talking about what? Authority? Nope. It was, and this was them, the Edens coming up against Julia, coming forward with all their power. What was that? The military force came and come upon Judah with their military power. When police come and kick off the door, or let's say they don't kick off the door, they knock up your door and open up in the name of the Lord. What they come with? Come with power. The state gave them the power to come and knock up your house. You're on the street and they pull you over. Why they pull you over? Why they pull you over? Because the state gave them power to do so. Now, you and I don't have any power to go in the road and stop, command a vehicle to stop, unless you're going to block the road. And then, you blocking the road becomes what? Just like a terrorist. I am now a lawbreaker. But they can put up barricade in the road to stop you because they have that power. The law gave them the law of the land. Continue.
Verse 41. And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much with servants, and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves.
You hear that? When the other nation they see they come up on Judah and say, what? We hear about the army, the army powerful, So here, when these people begin to buy them as slaves, servants, and maids. But in other words, they were gathering themselves to make some money by putting us in slavery. That was their intention. Read that verse again.
Verse 41. And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them.
And the merchants would be like who now? Well, you have to have money to be a merchant, but not necessarily be rich. Higher end. Who are the merchants in Jamaica? Would you call Andrew Holness a merchant? Why?
No, sir. It's business people, sir.
Hands up greatly identified.
Merchant or somebody buy and sell.
Exactly. We use the term buy and sell, you know, we don't say persons in business. But it seems like all people, you have persons on the roadside, they travel out and go buy some stuff and come back out here and sell it. Or they travel into the city, buy some stuff and come sell it back. They are merchants. But they call it buy and sell because that's what you do. You buy the things and you sell it back. So they know these buy and sell people now come up and in the country that they encamped to launch out into Judea. This is just like you call it a forward camp. So they say, you know, this Israel, the Israeli bomb a lot of Iranian bases where? In?
Yeah.
No, not in Iraq, in? Not Lebanon, in? Where they love to bomb now?
Palestine.
Nope.
Syria.
Syria. They bomb a lot of Iranian bases in Syria. What they are saying is that they don't want Iran setting up any forward bases that could in the future come and attack them. So what these men did when they encamped in this country, it was a forward base to attack Judea, military style. They don't just march this long distance and come and boom, attack you. They come on the encamp. When America was going into Iraq, what they did? Very first time they, well, the very first time they were, yes, the first time when they were going, when Saddam took over Kuwait, where did the nations encamp to take back Kuwait from Saddam? They encamped in Saudi Arabia. Remember that? You heard that, Joe? And time they never focus on anything. True, fair enough. All right. The other day, you know, when George Bush Jr. went into Iraq and Afghanistan, his forward base was here. Same Saudi first. Went into Saudi Arabia. They always have base in Saudi Arabia. And then from there they launched. And when they took over places in Iraq, they set up base there, other forward base to go and attack somewhere else. Huh? Right. And guess what? We in the truth here, you know. Each school you set up like a forward base, you know. But it's just that our attack is to fish our people. Hmm? To fish our people. So the truth began where? 1 West 125th Street. So we now have a forward base in Jamaica. To do what? To fish people in Jamaica. Never forget that. And you have to think of it this way because the most I run a military organization. Its people is always referred to as his what? Who are with hands up, because I hear three different answers. What do you say? Soldiers, you say. What do you say?
Army.
Army. If you don't know, you don't know. You know. So, he always talk about his army, which is Israel. Yeah, because he used us to create havoc and the other nation when they're ready. You know that? You have read that. But now we want to fish his people. What he does? Erecting forward bases from the headquarters into all these countries that he want to fish his people. And thanks be to the Most High, Jamaica is one such place. Right? Trinidad is another place. Two places in the, and there will be more coming. Should have one in Brazil. But even the northern kingdom is being fished. So this man now set up forward base to attack our country. But what did the Most High have planned for him? Continue.
Verse 40, verse 42. Yeah, we never finish verse.
Mm-hmm.
And the merchants of the country hearing of them took silver, power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them.
So you see, this is the stories that the Israeli read it up. I realize that these lands, Syria, the Philistines, with Palestine, I can't really trust these lands, These lands, enemies always set up forward bases to attack Judea, where Jerusalem is today, always, from Bible. And maybe if we could go beyond that, when the Eden's had full control over that land, maybe it was the same thing. Because the army that was in the land at the time when we were given the land, there were some powerful armies. Yeah. All right, continue.
Verse 42. Now when Judas and his brethren saw that miseries were multiplied, and that the forces did encamp themselves
In their borders.
in their borders, for they knew how the king had given commandment to destroy the people and utterly abolish them.
So guess what? This is the same thing the Romans came and do in the time of Christ. To abolish us. But why do you think it didn't happen from this time? I think you wake up the garden. Touch it. I can't have persons coming in on you, man, like that, man. Cheerful soldier. All right. Where verse one?
Verse 42.
All right. So Judah saw that why miseries multiply on the people now, And this king now come give commandment to utterly destroy Judea and to abolish these people. It was the same thing Rome commanded in Christ. Which general was it that marched on Jerusalem?
General Ampere.
That's all, no? No, man, that put an end to the Jewish state from the book. General so-and-so in 70 AD, March, came upon Jerusalem to put an end to the Jewish state. All right, it is in the book, in the Babylon to Timbuktu. It's the same thing. But why you think it didn't happen then, in the time of the Maccabees? Guess as to one key factor as to why it didn't happen. If you can tell me, then I know you're really studying. Silent. Sorry, that's not the answer we're looking for. That's not the main reason why I did not know, because there were men in Christ's time who stood up for the law. I stood up for the Most High. One key factor why it did not happen in Judas Maccabeus' time. Yes. Why the armies that came on us to abolish us, they did not succeed. Why? I tell you what. At the end of when we finish reading Judas' story, I'll tell you why. Continue reading.
Verse 43. They said one to another, let us restore the decayed estate of our people.
Fortune.
Yes. Let us restore the decayed estate of our people.
Estate you have in the thing there. All right, go on.
Of our people, and let us fight for our people and the sanctuary.
Continue.
Then was the congregation gathered together that they might be ready for battle and that they might pray and ask mercy and compassion.
So the people of the land were referred to as what? Referred to as the congregation. And who were they? Israelites. Right. 45.
Verse 45. Now Jerusalem lay void as a wilderness. There was none of her children that went in or out.
Right, so Jerusalem was a desolate place by that time. Because we were under, who was ruling Judea at that time? Which country was ruling Judea at the time of Maccabees? The Greeks. So one thing that all these nations do, always do, when they when they come and when the Moses said them again, so they always abolish the temple. It's like they say, you know, this thing is like a thorn against us. Don't go in there. So Jerusalem has become like a what? Void as a wilderness. No one going in or out. The sanctuary continue.
Also was trodden down, and aliens kept the stronghold, even at their habitation in that place. And joy was taken from Jacob, and the tithe which the ark ceased.
Right. Just like today. Except that at least they were in the land. So they were being captive in their own land. The stronghold of Jerusalem, heathens held on to the strongholds. The harps and music from the temple ceased. The daily sacrifice ceased. Continue.
Verse 46. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Massah over against Jerusalem. For in Massah was the place where they prayed oft times in Israel. Aforetime in Israel.
Meaning that was a place of prayer. Probably before the temple was built at Jerusalem. They used to gather in Massah to pray. So they are doing it now. Continue.
Verse 47. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and went and rent their clothes.
Just like the custom when it comes when we were repenting. Rent the clothes, put on sackcloth, with ashes on our feet and our head, and went into that somber mood, looking like nobody cared for you, just so we can come and pray to the Most High. Continue reading.
48. And laid upon the book of the law.
What?
And laid open the book of the law.
Today we would have said laid open the Bible. But the book of the law was where? Was what in that time?
Scroll.
Door. All right, sorry. Everything was a scroll then. That was the Hebrew name. But what was it? First 5 books of the Bible. I asked you last week, and I tell you I wasn't going to tell you. Who did their homework? Anyways, I'm still not going to tell you. Go and do your homework. But it was the first 5 books of the Bible that they would have laid open. The book of, it was not called the book of the law.
So one, the Old Testament.
No. What is the Torah? Nobody. It's your book. The other nations took it. What is the Torah? I'm not asking you for another name. I'm asking you the books.
The books themselves.
Yeah. No. No, it's I think it's Deuteronomy with their numbers, right? Deuteronomy come before number. Check. But yes. Deuteronomy. Leviticus, their numbers, and Deuteronomy. So that is the first 5 books of the Bible that was called Torah. Some say the Pentateuch, or the nation of Israel, the Israelites. All the other books were like corrections. We went astray, the Most High sent a prophet to correct us. And in sending that prophet to correct us, he might give us another piece of the law, another piece of something that we should have followed. I should know. Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, you name the books. Those books were to correct. When we gone off, send the prophet to correct. But when they opened the book of the law in Maccabees time, that would have been the law, the Torah. Continue reading.
Verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
All right. Just like today. Eh? Yeah.
Does that mean that
Probably. It's not new. All right. And you have the what's call him? Muslims. The Muslims take our laws and paint their likeness on it, don't it? Yeah, it's our laws they have in them. And say that they got it from who? Muhammad. Christians take it and they take their likeness on it as well. So it's not new. So the same thing that was happening in Maccabe's time. Check this. Sorry. It's cool. So in the same way that they took our laws and paint themselves on it in the time of the Maccabees, they did it in the time of Christ, and they are doing it today. All they want to be. All right, continue reading.
Verse 49. They brought also the priest garments and the first fruits and the tithes and the Nazarite. They stirred up. Who are
Verse 1.
Verse 49.
All right. And they brought the priest garment, first fruit, tithes, the Nazarite, and the Nazarite they stirred up. Who had
accomplished their deed.
So these are what kind of Nazarite now? Whole Nazarite now. Whole man in the business. So draw back for the whole guards. Because what they are seeking to do now is to bring back the whole thing because everything was torn down. So then when they said they opened the book of the law, what did they do? They opened the book of the law. They laid open, and 48 when they say, and laid open the book of the law. What did they do? Thank you. Thank you. It was the I.S.U.P.K. back in 1969 that once again laid open the book of the law and start educating the people again. Draw back for the priest garment. The priest garment that we use now is not exactly like how it was in the temple. Because the one in the temple had precious gems and things on it and so on and so forth, right? And was to be worn only in the temple. But it's the same thing. Start studying back the ways that we have. That's exactly what we are doing today. Because what? This is the only way we can activate the greatest weapon. Okay. Yes. All right. Laid open the book of the law and study it. That's the only way. Continue reading.
Verse 50. Then cried they with a loud voice toward heaven, saying, what shall we do with these, and whither shall we carry them away?
Right, so put forth the things now of the temple, the Nazarites. The Nazarites were the hardcore men, who kept the laws. You know, the Nazarite vow, like Samuel being a Nazarite and others, Samson, our famous judge there, and there were others. So they draw back to the old gods, open the book up. But look, they were in a better position than we are now. Because all wasn't forgotten then. Right? They weren't battling with, am I an Israelite? You understand? Exactly. They weren't battling with, where is it? Which direction is the temple? They knew where the temple was. They had the old gods. They had the book of the law. They had the Ark of the Covenant. They had it all. All they had to do was to just what? Reactivate the weapon. That's all they had to do. Reactivate it. And thanks for commanding General Yana. He has showed us the way to reactivate that weapon again. So they can drop all the atomic bomb they want to drop. And guess what? The Ethers don't want you to reactivate your weapon because they know how powerful it is. So they are going to be working overtime now. So the only thing we do is to do what? Work overtime as well. So when it's time for just remember you're reactivating the weapon. When it's time for class, when it is study time, when it is time to go out and fish, that's how you are reactivating your weapon to be. Verse 1.
Verse 51. No, verse
50.
51. For thy sanctuary is trodden down and profaned, and thy priests are in heaviness and brought low.
So basically, there were no guess as to who is now in the line and to be a priest, right? Can we identify the sons of Aaron today? You know that chances are they might be in 80. That's as much as you know. But guess what? It wasn't the entire Levites that were of the sons of Aaron. The order. Any one of you can take him from the highway and the byway. Bring him in. Show him the way. Let him be the priest. It's now open to everyone. Every male of any tribe can be a priest. Continue.
Verse 52. And lo, the heathen are assembled together against us to destroy us. What things they imagine against us that know it?
Don't know it. Yeah,
don't know it.
It's just like today, we are saying, why the heathens have assembled against us and come now with the new world order. Who knows what? Two of us. No way different. No way different. What can be said? The things that they are imagining against us. Only you, God, know. Continue.
Verse 53. How shall we be able to stand against them, except thou, O God, be our help?
So We have never been able to stand against any nation without God helping.
Then
And
some,
it's the same thing we have to recognize today. So we have the key to turn that, put that weapon back to activation mode and set it against our enemy. And we put in that weapon in activation mode is what the most I want to see. That to do it. They put his son in the driver's seat and say, all right, weapon activated, go ahead. Get them. Right. Good. All right, so
verse 54.
54, right.
Then
Is what they have to what? Blow, they have the blowing of the trumpet. Now that was a call to what? Call to war. So they went and they fast, they bring forth the old guards. The priests, they I'm sorry, they're Nazarite, the old Nazarite. These men know the way of the Nazarite like the back of their hand. These men could lead the nation, bring them forth, and then blew the trumpet, because it's now what? All in your hands now. I will be done. Whether we win or we lose, we know it's your will. But we are presenting ourselves as clean as we can be. Full activation mode. Let's go to war. Continue.
verse 55. And after this Judas ordained captains over the people, even captains over thousands and over hundreds
Captain over thousands.
and over 50.
That's like
and over
generals.
10.
So I'm sorry, right? Captain over thousands, that's like generals. Captain over hundreds, that's like what? Captain, Captain 10,000, Captain 13,000, and what else?
And over 50.
Right, those are like officers of 50, well, officers of 10, that's like officers of 50, officers of 500, officers of 1,000. So you start to rank the people. So ranking the people in the U.P.K is not unlawful. Very much lawful. But guess what? The one that the Most High choose, he has to know what to do with it. And the same thing coming again. The same thing happening again. So far, we are 50 years into it. We don't think Judas took that long to organize the people. But like I said, they had everything. The old guards were there. show me an old Nazarite today. A true Nazarite. Show me one. Yeah. See? That's what I tell you. But they are just like Eden, because they say what? They are worshiping at Eden. Yeah. So they had unlike us, they had the whole God, they had the temple, they have all the things. We so far it took us so far. Hello, man. So far it took us 50 years to be where we are, and we're still going because bit by bit we are coming there. Remember when UPK formed in 69, we didn't have the 12 tribe chart, True or false? Right, the 12 tribe chart came in after, meaning that all we knew was that we were Israelite. Which tribe? Okay, I would go with the Southern Kingdom because I know that they were the last to leave the land and they went to the shores of Africa, got into slavery. So we knew that we were Southerners, Southern Kingdom. But which tribe? We were never too sure. And then the Most High gave us the 12 tribe chart. Because really and truly, for you to be presenting yourself before the Most High, you have to know your tribe. You have to able to say you are so and so, son of which? Son of Israel. That's how you go before the Most High. And in the day of the temple, if you come up in the temple and could not record him, put forward a tribe, they'll half with you. Send you away, kill you. Yeah, they send you away, your body. Yeah, seriously. There you come and present yourself in the temple. Who you? Got to identify yourself. So it took us time. 50 years in it so far. Go ahead. Okay.
Verse 56. But as for such as were building houses, or had betrothed wives, or were planting vineyards, or were fearful, those he commanded that they should return in every man.
Come on.
Return every man to his own house according to the law.
Right, because that's what the law said. If a man just got married, he was not allowed to go into battle. You ever see in the U.S. Army, man going into war tomorrow and they're married today? Not in Israel. They just got married and there was a time frame. Spend at least, I think, a year with your wife. And maybe that's why some of us had so many wives. I make sure you take one every year because I ain't gonna fight. You know what? But guess what? You don't have to do that not to fight because if you're a fearful person, nah, I don't want to. Only the brave. And the UPK today is on the same call by saying what? No cowards. Give yourself a hand for that. Hold on. I don't know if you're thinking for yourself a hand. Huh? Man. Wake up, man. Right. So, right when this trumpet sounded, the nation realized that Israel was preparing for war. Every man back to his own house who did not fit the criteria to go and fight. Continue.
Verse 57. So the camp removed and pitched upon the south side of Emmaus, and Judah said, arm yourselves and be valiant men, and see that ye be in readiness against the morning, that ye may fight with these nations that are assembled together against us to destroy us and our sanctuary.
Right. So the general at the time now, Judah said, guess what? We are now ready. Get ready to fight tomorrow morning. 59.
For it is better for us to die in battle than to behold the calamities of our people and our sanctuary.
If you want us kill us in battle. It's better we die in battle than we sit aside and watch our people going to slavery and you don't trot the temple. 60.
Nevertheless, as the will of God is in heaven, so let him do.
Irish. All right, so that is chapter 3. Go over to chapter 4, 1 to 27.
First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 1 to 7, verse 1.
27.
Verse 1 to 27. Verse 1. Then took Gorgias 5,000 footmen and 1,000 of the best horsemen and removed out of the camp by night to the end he might rush in upon the men of the fortress and heard thereof. He himself removed and the valiant men with him, that he might smite the king's army which was at Emmaus. While as yet the forces were dispersed from the camp. Dispersed from the camp. In the mean came Gorgias by night into the camp of Judah, and when he found no man there, he sought them in the mountain, for said he, these fellows flee from us.
Right. Them say, I run them money around from us now. We could go and find them. Then start to search the place. Continue.
Verse 6. But as soon as it was day, Judah showed himself in the plain with 3,000 men who nevertheless had neither armor nor swords to their minds. And they saw the camp of the Eden, that it was strong and well harnessed, and compassed round about with horsemen. And these were experts of war.
So you think of a nation come upon you now with the special forces. That's what it was at that time. They send the special forces against you. Now, if you know anything about special forces, you don't require a lot of them to fight you. These men are assassins. But these are the great men, the expert of war that came upon Maccabees. 8.
Then said Judah to the men that were with him, fear ye not their multitude, neither be ye afraid of us. Remember how our fathers were delivered in the Red Sea, when Pharaoh pursued them with an army. Now therefore let us cry unto heaven, if peradventure the Lord will have mercy upon us, and remember the covenant of our fathers, and destroy this oath before our face this day.
Right. So the thing that makes the difference between God fighting for you and God fighting for the enemy is say it like you're saying something. Covenant. We have a covenant with him. The Edens don't. All right, so 11.
That so all the Eden may know that there is one who delivereth and saveth Israel. Then the strangers lifted up their eyes and saw them coming over against them. Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judah sounded their trumpet.
All right, so they went into the Judah spoke to his men. Come on, man, let us go and fight. To adventure the most, I may remember his covenant, the covenant of our fathers, and shall destroy this host before our face today. Let's go into battle. Remember, I said they had no swords. They had the trumpet. Continue.
So they joined battle, and the evening discomfited fled into the plain. Albeit all in most of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them unto
Gazira,
Gazira, and unto the plains of Idumea and Azatos and Jamia, so that there were slain of them upon 3,000 men.
Right. So what do you think happened? Challenge them without sword, take them one sword and beat them. That's why this has become known as Judah's most famous battle. 18? 16? Okay.
This done, Judah returned again with Judah returned again with his host from pursuing them, and said to the people, be not greedy of the spoils, in as much as there is a battle
in the spoils, because we still have a battle before us. Continue.
And Georgias and his host are here by us in the mountain. But stand ye now against our enemies and overcome them, and after this ye may boldly take his spoil.
All right. And you remember what the spoils contain now? What did they came up against them with? Hold on, man. Remember what this said, you know? They brought much gold and silver and precious bits and what kind of silk. They came with riches to buy us from the army, from the soldiers themselves. Brought riches because what? I'm going to be richer. So they brought what they had to come and spoil us and make themselves rich. But we got them on the run. Judah said, don't be caught up in the spoil, you know, we still have a battle against us. JAHANNA and his man is in the mountains. Continue.
Verse 20, who when they perceived that the Jews had put their oaths to flight and were burning the tent, for the smoke that was seen declared what was done.
Right.
When therefore they perceived these things, they were sore afraid, and seen also the host of Judah in the plain ready to fight. They fled everyone into the land of strangers. Then Judah returned to spoil the tent, where they got much gold and silver and blue silk and purple of the sea and great riches.
Right. I think this was named from the chapter before that they brought with them to buy and enrich themselves. They brought, so what happened now? They won't leave it. A couple thousand of them died. And then we get these riches that they run with. That's what war is. It's called the spoils of war. Just like our Israelites, we're going to spoil the earth. Because they are going to seek. Oh, they're going up against Christ. You know? Yeah. What you think when the kingdom build and they go in there, the riches? We already work for our riches in this earth, you know. Collection time. But until Shiloh comes, you have to be patient. You are given one order now. Fish. Go get them. Regardless of the crocodile that is in the water, go get them. Regardless of the shark, regardless of the dangers, go get them. Because what? The Most High is with you. Go.
Verse 24, after this they went home and sung song of thanksgiving and praised the Lord in heaven, because it is good, because his mercy endureth forever.
You see what Thanksgiving is? What Thanksgiving is about? The Most High granting you victory over your enemies. So America Thanksgiving, they are giving thanks to God that they gain victory over the Indians. And those natives are God's chosen people. So how you give the Most High thanks for getting victory over his own people? You're setting yourself up. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for a ass whipping. So as to remind the Most High that it was you who killed them, who killed these people. So each time that they have a Thanksgiving, they are just reminding the Most High that I was the one who killed all the people in this land. But the Most High don't even have to send his agent to record it. They are reminding him. Every time they have Thanksgiving, that's what they do. Every year. Exactly. Even if the Most High say, all right, yeah, I'm going to forgive them. That's it. Hello. I'm the one who killed all the people here, you know. And I'm going to eat a turkey for that. How stupid they are. But for our sake, great is the Most High God of Israel. So much so that the heathens are right in their own demise and not even know it. Right in your own destruction. Continue.
Verse 25. Thus Israel had a great deliverance that day. Now all the strangers that had escaped came and told
Lysias.
what had happened.
So remember, Lysias was the general. He led the forces, right?
Concern.
Okay. 27.
Who, when he heard thereof, was confounded and discouraged, because neither Israel nor such thing.
Neither such thing.
Because neither such thing as he would were done unto Israel.
Right. So neither was he able to do the things that he wanted to do unto Israel, nor
Such things as the king commanded him were come to pass.
So neither what he want to do nor what the king tell him to do was done. So you know how uneasy he became. Alright, so we stop at 27. So that was one case again when the Most High delivered Israel. Now the question I asked was what?
What is the only way to get the Messiah?
Yes, I asked that and you got the answer already. What
That is the reason why the Most High only fight for Israel.
No. Well, yes. The answer that too. Why? The same thing that happened in Maccabe's time. The same. Why the East didn't succeed in Maccabe's time, but they succeeded after in Christ's time. It was the same thing. They came on us in Maccabe's time to put an end to us. But why didn't they succeed? When Babylon came against us, Babylon didn't came with the intention to put an end to us. They told to mash up the temple and to bring most of us into slavery. But this man came with the intention to put an end to the Jewish state. Why didn't they succeed? What wasn't in place as yet? Thank you. This is my hand. Christ wasn't in place as yet. That was why the Most High gave us a deliverer, a person to stand and fight. Judas and his brethren. But by the time Christ came and the things were fulfilled, because remember now, even from before Maccabees, the Most High said, I'm going to send you all into slavery because they keep on doing this thing. They keep on, all right, in Jamaican term, they keep on and give me bond to send you to slavery. You know, like you have this cheating wife, and no matter what you do, no matter the love you show, you just have to go cheat. Huh? Except that we were cheating on him with what? Other gods. We keep on serving other gods. So it says, look, I'm not going to be back and forth with you all the time. I'm going to send you to slavery. But he had his plan, because before the slavery he was planning to send us in was to wipe. You know, like when you clean a slate, wipe it clean. No memory. That was what happened to us in the North Atlantic slave trade. We didn't remember who we were. And then the Most High showed us a bit. That a question? Questions with it. And suggestion. Now, just remember at all time, all the great forces that you see on this earth is commanded by the God we serve. That nuclear blast that you saw, those atomic fusion and fission, commanded by the Most High. Those mighty men of war in their heathens camp, the Most High has power over them. But how do you activate your power to fight for you? Is by doing what? Thank you. So if you follow the events and say that the laws are done away with, you will never turn that key to activate your weapon. Never. This is like a man keep on telling your wife, yo, can't listen to you now. I tell you, say you must go to work. You can't give your car for go to work, You understand? Come on. It's the same thing. Your man keep on to tell us, say, you must do this, you must do that. But you can give better. It's the same way the other nation entice us. Hello, you keep on telling your law tell about no eat pork, no eat shrimp. shrimp, go eat lobster. Have you ever been to Red Lobster? Have you ever have a ham for Christmas? Look at the Christmas time. Look how the place is pretty. Look at the New Year celebration. Look at the Thanksgiving dinner. Look at the big turkey that you eat. So these are enticing us to not activate our warrior mode. As Israel has a warrior mode. That is to be activated in these last days. And the nations are, that read our history and understand it, are so afraid to the point where they rather know so them go down in the cliff of the rock and drop the nuclear bomb on you up there. That's how afraid they are of you. All right. Take me to Revelation now. 6 and 12, 17.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 12.
12, I said?
Okay. Verse 12 to 17. Verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, the moon became as blood.
That was mankind couldn't touch, didn't have the knowledge, didn't have the wherewithal to do and to cause to happen. Were now open. And within the sixth seal, there was something in it that represents destruction, which was sealed from man for thousands of years. And that seal was to split the atom. Man never know to split the atom. Until when the Most High allow man to know how to split the atom. And when that atom was split, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as a sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. What happened there? Nuclear atomic explosion. Continue reading.
And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely fig, when she is shaken of a mighty wind.
Mm-hmm.
And the heaven departed as scroll when it
As a scroll.
as a scroll when it is rolled together. And
Now, just look at the blast again in Lebanon. Let us see this big. They call it what? What's the name they call it? Mushroom cloud. And here it is in Revelation. And this was first opened when? This happened on humans, August 6, 1945. Bombing of Hiroshima. The same thing that is described here, the same thing the people witnessed. People said, "Oh, this must be God coming." Never has mankind seen a weapon so great. But of course, public enemy number one said, "Aha! Now we get it." Who was that? He laughed. He had the greatest weapon on the face of the earth. A pity he didn't know that this is a part of the Most High's plan. Continue. What, how far we are now? What?
Verse 14.
14. Continue.
And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the desert, and in the rock of the mountains.
What is this? Bunkers. Military bunkers under the earth. That's what is being described here in Revelation. Now the Most High put these in writing, and then thousands of years you come and you say, aha, I discovered this. Oh, really? You only got to do it because it's sealed. It was sealed from mankind, and that seal is now open so that you can go and destroy yourself. But you know, just like the Thanksgiving, setting yourself up, you now take it, setting yourself up, thinking that you have made a great discovery. Sure, great, but for who? Those military bunkers, that is right there. Most I don't make any for us. Our bunkers is not in the cleft of the rock. Continue reading.
Verse 16, and he said to the mountains and the rock, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great
now, this is bombs going off of here. Is going to use what to destroy the earth? Fire and brimstone. So these bombs will be raining down. Yeah, man. So much so that it must be God doing this. It will be, except that the same bombs that they have that is made by man. Just like the virus. Where the virus here come from? Same place on earth. The Most High just allow it to flourish, that's all. Because the fields are open. Continue. For the
great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand?
So we see we're in 1945. The seal actually was open. Man discovered, well, we know, as they would have obviously discovered such thing before 1945. But that was when it was used, and the entire earth now knows that there is such a thing as an atomic bomb that makes the heaven roll back like a stone. Just look at the film again. People were miles away from the blast, and just that, what they call it again, the force of the air, kill them in the vehicle. 100,000 persons unaccounted for, probably vaporized. Who knows?
And the priest in the church there.
Yeah, something jumping in there. I'm probably dead. Yeah. Hey, come on, Israelite. I said, oh, the Most I didn't want him. Yeah, in that church, right? And guess what? You know, if he stood up where he was, he wouldn't give it away. When he run out, chop it at head. They can't run from that, man. All right. So since 1945, when the seal was first opened, let's go to Revelation 7, 1 to 4.
Revelation chapter 7, verse 4. And I heard
Revelation what?
chapter 7,
Verse?
verse 4.
I said 1 to 4.
1 to 4. Thank you. Verse 1 to 4. Verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth.
East, west, north, and south. That's all it means.
Holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on the tree.
Nor on any tree. Now what wind is that? That same wind from that atomic wind. That woman that was in her wedding gown, they were miles away. There was no fire near them. It was just that wind so great. So the angels, or 4 angels, holding back these winds. By holding back these winds, they are now preventing a nuclear war. What is happening from that time, 1945, to obviously the wind is not being held back anymore. So since week. Hello, we're living in some serious times, you know. To us, some glorious times. But, you know, the most I say, do not delight to see that day, because even you, the Israelite, is going to drive fear in you. That's a matter of fact. The fear that it will drive in is to let us love the Lord, love God more. All right, verse 2.
So, verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to the earth and the sea,
Saying,
saying, Earth not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have fully servants of our God.
now when that blast went off, it was right on a port. The sea was earthy, tell you. The earth itself was earthy because it was shook. And what else happened? All that is described there happened. So from Hiroshima, Nagasaki to this week, read verse, where are now 4?
Verse 2. Saying, Earth not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have seen the servants of our God in their forehead. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. And there were sealed 140 and 4,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Right, so those of us who are able to make it in before, well, really lucky. You realize the unfolding of events that is happening. Most we can say. Let some of our brothers taste of the feeling that you have got. From that first bomb to this now, that is telling you what is happening. Would that be an accident? As they say, but the funny thing, you know, US president don't think it was an accident. Well, he never said it was an accident or not. He said that was a nuclear blast. Yeah. Maybe you know that it is the Israeli that done it. Exactly. But to destroy an next man's fort like that, that's gonna hurt because it's an act of war. What can we say? Barakataya Wawashah. It's our liberation. Our liberation is at hand. You have to understand these events, you know. And then the one so drop, man. Yeah. 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 Really? Man. Wow. Well, you thanks that you understand the times, right? Okay, fine. It's an accident. More accidents to happen. They have had incidents before that same in America, plane transporting nuclear bomb, and the pilot accidentally opened the bomb bay and the bomb fell out and didn't go off. You know that? More than one time. Nuclear bomb. The trigger wasn't active. So it fell from that high from the plane and didn't go off. Yeah. 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 So yeah. Come at an angle. Well, that's what. Well, let me tell you something that has been happening in the Middle East. I don't know which country was it again. There was a country. Let me even make a show of it, where they they were trying to get a nuclear weapon, nuclear plant, and it was far advanced. The Israeli used their intelligence to gather information. Just by chance they came across it, you know. It's like I think it was the same Lebanon, you know. Was it Lebanon? Or Syria? Lebanon is normally a neutral side. Well, not really neutral, but how was it a Syria? Syria. But the country that was doing it, a top official was like they would come to Jamaica for vacation. When they came out here now, there were some Israeli intelligence officer out here. Now, this is not somebody who they had tagged, you know. But out of curiosity, they say, wonder what the information we can garner from this man. So they went to the hotel that he was staying. They found out the room that he was in. And one night in the lobby, they get a beautiful girl, man, to come and sit and chat with him. While the girl was there chatting with him, they were up in his room, going through his laptop, downloading stuff and so on and so forth, right? Now, one of the things they downloaded was an image of something that looked like a nuclear facility. They were on Cardinal. And they said, I think it was Libya. And they said, this looks like a nuclear facility. They said it to the Prime Minister. At the time, the Prime Minister said, we need more evidence. So they sent men on foot to go in where the facility was to look, and they look and take pictures and they said, yeah man, this is it. And they took sample of this, because those are like near a river, head, no, not a river head, river, near a river. They took samples of the water around it, and it showed that, yes, some nuclear thing is taking place here. And they flew plane in and bombed the site. And they said to the country that they bombed the site, like, yeah, you don't say anything, we won't say anything, you know. So the country The country got out and the country came out and said there was an accident of a blast in their country. It wasn't it wasn't bombing from any neighboring country. It was an accident because they were doing it undercover. When you came to them, say, well, yeah, what? You don't talk, we don't talk. So I'm wondering if it's a similar thing with Lebanon now. They have some nuclear thing in there. Israel realize it. Yeah. Well, say nothing still enough. So they first make sure they come up and say, Israel first say condolences. And then the Lebanese says, you know, this seems like an accident.
Yeah. Nobody know.
Yeah, because you know, if you come up and say, you know, it's Israel bomb our facility, then Israel will say, what they do with nuclear in there? And then the world is going to come down on them. So the Israelis will say, you don't talk, you don't talk.
So who should have nuclear? So nobody really should have nuclear.
Huh?
Does America alone now?
The Chinese have it, the Indians have it, Japan don't have it. I don't even think they're actively trying to get it. But they want to ensure that no Arabs have it for the sake of Israel. They are saying that Israel shouldn't have it, but they have intelligence that says that Israel have it. They think Iran is trying to get it. They might have it, I don't know. But they are trying, Israel and them are one because they are not the true people of the land. But, you know, they have to be kind of quiet because in them trying to get out Israel, they are breaking international laws with a lot of things. Israel find it out, correct the problem, and keep silent. So I'm wondering if this is a case of that. But one thing I'm sure of is that the Most High is sealing his people, and that seal that was on that sixth seal has been broken, and the heaven is rolling back like a scroll, and it's going to be happening more. No, they say it was in a warehouse for more than 6 years now.
A ship, right? Where a Russian businessman down in a sea, port here and abandoned, like the exemption to something. Abandoned and never come back.
Okay.
This is fire.
Well, the Lebanese say it was some well that was in that abandoned warehouse, and they sparked from it throughout. But too many fishy things. Lebanon knows something. They were doing something that they shouldn't be doing because it's against international laws. The Israelis find out, take corrective measure, and they get beaten and have to keep quiet. Don't like somebody go out and then go do something, break some law, then get their ass whipped. They can't say nothing.
Businessman with ownership.
Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about that, but I heard that a shipping company is suing the Lebanese government. I don't know if it's the same one, but there must have been ships in the port as well. Yeah. So that is going to be an interesting unfolding of events. But one thing you know, 144,000 is being sealed. I don't think the most are reaching quarter yet, but they just start work because the rest is not coming yet. The force of what is happening out there is going to bring them in. All right, so Revelation 7 now, go down to 9.
Chapter 19.
CM 7. That's where you were a while ago. No? Revelation 7. And you read 1 to 4. You're going down to 9 now. Yeah.
After this, verse 9, after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And they cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces and worship God, saying, Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the elders and swore answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them.
Mm-hmm.
They shall hunger no more, neither be thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lamb which
Shall be cool like ever the term, cool as cucumber. Continue.
For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of water, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
So who are these people that were arrayed in white? No, not just them. Right. Read what it says in verse 9.
Verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number,
Oh.
of all nations and kindred and the people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands.
So Christianity says, see, all nations will be saved and before God.
Yeah.
But why is the all nation here? Yeah.
Israel is scattered among all nations.
Okay. And what you were saying, Officer Kaya? Right. Why every nation? Go to Jeremiah 32. You have several scriptures that you could draw to show that the Israelites are scattered in all nations. But let's use Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 22.
Jeremiah 32. 32 verse 37. Fine.
22 verse
Jeremiah verse 37 reading to 42. Behold,
Context. Jeremiah 32, verse 37 to 42. Verse 37. Behold, I will gather them out of all.
behold, comma,
Behold, I will gather them out of all countries, whither I have driven them in my anger, and in my fury, and in great wrath. And I will bring them again unto this place, and will cause them to dwell safely.
so the Most High in his anger has driven us into all countries, all nations. But here he's saying 38.
And they shall be my people, and I will be their God.
Isn't that what he says in Revelation there? 39.
And I will give them one heart and one way, that they may fear me forever, for the good of them and of their children after them.
So from the time of Jeremiah, so before Maccabeus time, the Most High knows the writing was what he already said it, that he was going to send us into. Anything he said has to come to pass. Not going to change his mind just like that because we keep on breaking it anyway. But he said that he's not going to give us one heart and one way. And that is what coming, that is what is on stream. At one heart and one way. Yes, man. Continue reading.
And I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, that they shall not depart from me.
So that everlasting covenant now is gone. He won't believe in us. 41.
Yea, I will rejoice over them.
Yea.
Yea, I will rejoice over them. Good. And I will plant them in this land assuredly with my whole heart and with my whole soul.
42.
For thus saith the Lord, like as I have brought all great evil upon these people.
But the same way that he said that he was going to put us in slavery and the North Atlantic slave trade did get us. Even when we were hiding from these people. Most I let them find us just so that he could punish us. He's saying in the same way I did that, like as I have brought all this great evil upon these people, continue.
So will I bring upon them all the good that I have promised them.
So it will be good sailing after. So don't be fooled. There were some little idiot Edomites who said that slavery was a necessary evil. Well, we in the I.S.U.P.K can tell him that these atomic bombs that are coming is a necessary evil. That is going to hit them for our sake. And with that, first class priest and officer, Kaya.
I.S.U.P.K security announcement. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of One Way, 125th Street, Arlington, New York. Under commanding General Yohana, new rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are these only. They are 6 months. If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from them. After this 6 months, After this 6 months,
Yeah, I see. After the 6 months, the brothers should get their glasses when they know they have to read it.
I.S.U.P.K security announcement. Lock it up. Lock it.
After the 6 months, you can't take over here.
After this 6 months, the permission from the fence.
Alright, you want if we can see, what officer, you have LC, pick up from after the 6 months.
After this 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 to 10 means 10 in Hebrew and it's pronounced Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives, you give this to the treasury department or teacher, priest one. Free will offering for priest, not man, convocation, remind of coming holy convocation.
Not down to me that I should do, you know, man. You read the rules. Read the rules so brothers and sisters can follow them.
Thank you. Memorial of blowing of the trumpet. First day of the 7th month. Thursday, September 17, 2020. This is found in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24 to 28, 25. Reminder Akiam and Akiwatian to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, so on for ISUPK events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then it is to start wearing order, which includes a marginal.
No, you don't turn over that. Just leave that control.
Okay.
Let him give the command. With that we say.
With that we say, Amajam, one courtesy salute to the teacher, Majam Shabbat, Majam Barak, Yah Bashim Yah Shai Barakakam. One courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, stand and face the sisters. Majam Shabbat, Majam Barak, Yah Bashim Yah Shai. With that we say class dismissed.